Every day we're seeing new major technology improvements in every industry across the board, and that includes gaming, and Mirandus is no exception. Mirandus is an MMORPG that's currently in development, and they are using some very, very smart technology to affect the world and how we play Mirandus. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how this smart technology, this AI technology, is going to affect the environment and affect the mobs, the monsters in the game, and how that affects us as players. And why I'm so excited about this because they are coming up with some really cool features that you just don't see in older games, quite frankly, because the older games were developed in a different time period. So that's something very excited worth talking about. But first, my name is Duyo, and if you like play to earn games, specifically Mirandus, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel because that's what we talk about here. Mirandus is a play to earn MMORPG that's in development, and we will be able to play a video game that can earn us money in real life, and that's why I'm so excited. And if you want to join the Mirandus community on Discord, check out the link in the description below. I have a Discord there where we can just talk about Mirandus. We can get voice chat when the game goes live in a couple of months here, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm sure you are as well. But let's dive into today's video. So, there's a couple of things that the Mirandus team is doing that I'm super excited about, and it is going to affect the environment. So, that's running around the world and how we do things in game, and it's going to affect the monsters. So, fighting is not going to be so stale that you might see in other games because it's going to adapt over time, and we'll get to that in a moment. I just want to say there are other Mirandus videos that I was going to make today. I really want to make a video on how to rent out exemplars right now because that's something a lot of people will really be looking forward to, and I'll be making that video very soon in the future. And also, the biggest buff that you can give to your character in game. I made a video talking about voxes, but there's actually something that you can do for your character that will give you the biggest buff ever in game. And I wanted to make those videos, but this just got me so excited. It was all I could think about. So I just switched it up to this video because I think you guys are really going to enjoy what the dev team is doing here. So let's start with the environment. Mirandus is going to have dynamic spawning, and that's going to include monsters and resources. So when you are out there gathering, you could be chopping down trees, you could be mining ore, you could be doing whatever you do as a gatherer. The same materials are not going to spawn in the exact same spot every single time. The way it's going to work is if this material makes sense for it to be in this zone or this biome, it's going to spawn somewhere in this biome. It's going to spawn somewhere, but it's not going to be in the same spot every single time. Same thing for monsters. If you know that a particular monster only lives in the woods, then it's not going to spawn in that same spot every single time. It'll spawn somewhere in the woods. You just won't know where or when. There have been past video games, particularly Shia, when I knew the spawn times of monsters and I knew exactly where they were going to spawn. I could just go in there, and if you could kill before respawn, you make a loop around the place and you would know exactly where they're going to spawn and exactly when, and you're set up to do your AoEs and kill them on the spot right there before you move to the next specific location where you knew they were going to spawn next. And that's how I play Shy. I played it so much I knew when and where the mobs were going to spawn every single time. And in Mirandus, is going to be different. They could spawn here, they could spawn over there, they could just spawn somewhere where it makes sense for them to spawn, but it's not going to be the exact same location and it's not going to be the exact same time. The timers are going to fluctuate a little bit. So that's really cool and that's exciting because it's not so still. As cool as it was for me back in the day to level up to farm an area to do whatever I was doing because I knew of the spawns locations, it would be a lot more intriguing if all of this stuff was slightly more randomized and you didn't know the exact locations and it would just keep you on your toes more. And that's kind of cool, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing in Mirandus. That's going to be the same thing when it comes to farming resources like gathering, because a lot of games will have bots and the bots will know the spawn location of resources. Let's say they're a miner, they're going to sit outside of this iron ore, and they know that if they click on this once every 40 seconds, it'll activate. You could get an auto clicker for your bot for this one specific place and let it just sit there for hours and mine the same location because you know exactly when and where it's going to spawn. So, with it being dynamic and spawning at random locations at random times, that's going to really cut down on botting. I'm sure somebody's going to figure out a way to still do it, but this is going to prevent all of the easy, normal, regular bots out there that'll just sit in the exact same location and auto farm the same spot. And typically in these games, the less bots, the better. So that's really cool. And as a gatherer, it just makes it that much more engaging because you will have to actually go in there and search out the areas and find these locations where you can mine, where you can chop trees. Obviously, you can see where trees are, but just the fact that you can't stand there in the same spot waiting for a respawn at an exact time and just farm the same location over and over for hours a day, you know, that's really cool. So I'm really excited about that. And let me know your thoughts on the Mirandus team and how they're doing this dynamic spawning and how you like or dislike it being in the world of Mirandus. Now, let's talk about the intelligence of the monsters and how they are going to adapt over time. And this is really cool, and it's almost scary how they can do this. So, Jason Hughes, which is one of the lead development guys in the Mirandus team, he was talking the other day in Discord about something really exciting about how the monsters are going to pretty much learn based off of their experiences, just like a human would. If you go in there and we're going to learn really quick during this playtest. Hey, I prefer whacking things with a sword. Hey, I prefer shooting things with a bow. Hey, this type of monster does better if I'm wearing this type of armor, stuff like that. And we can learn and we can adapt as humans. Guess what? They're implementing a code in the monsters where the monsters can essentially do the same things. So the monsters will outgrow the humans and be attacking us, and guess what? They're either going to kill us or we're going to kill them. And if we kill the monster is going to be like, okay, what was that adventurer wearing? What kind of weapon did he attack me with? How many adventurers were there? And they're going to collect all this data and be like, okay, so if there's a group of five and maxed out gear, I need to start running because I have 0% chance of survival. On the flip side, if they see somebody with little to no gear and they're standing AFK for 10 minutes and they attack you and they kill you, they're going to be like, that's what I need to look for because these are the type of ventures that are easy kills. And then there's everything in between where they will calculate. I did this attack and it did a lot of damage. I did this attack and I died very easily. And they're going to start calculating, hey, this guy's wearing this type of gear and I died. This guy's wearing this type of gear and I was able to kill that adventurer. And they're going to adapt over time who, who to target out, who to which kind of attacks to be attacking us with. And I'm sure this isn't going to be like like a if it happened once, like the whole AI is going to outsmart us type thing, because I'm sure we're going to be killing thousands and thousands of goblins per day. It's going to take thousands, hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of times for this to slowly adapt over time, or else it could easily get out of hand. And we want to make Miranda's hard, but not that hard. Not to where a whole AI goblin army can just wipe us all out, to where we can't even leave town. And it is going to be cool how, according to what the lead developer Jason Hughes says, how they're going to slowly adapt over time based off the experiences they have fighting us, just like we're going to adapt over time based off of our experiences attacking them. And we did already see a video where they're kind of thinking different things because a goblin is chasing a wolf and the wolf is running, and then you have just like a deer that's just standing there, not really doing anything. Until the wolf and the goblin runs by, the deer starts running, and the goblin notices the easier prey and switches targets over to that deer and starts chasing the deer. So if you are an easy target in game, you're going to know it because more things are naturally going to aggro to you because they know they can kill you easier. maybe there would be like a taunt or something where if you have somebody in your party, they can help mitigate this. And a lot of the aggro mechanics just aren't in game, and those are going to be implemented as we go along. But as of right now, the AI monsters already know like who's the easier prey and who they should be going after. And then to add on to that, um, the goblins, just like us, like we can have a sword and then we can switch over to a bow, or we can start with a bow and then switch to a sword when something gets close to us, of course. And the goblins are going to be thinking the same kind of thing. Some of them are going to have a bow, and then you get a melee range, and they realize a melee weapon would be better. They can switch weapons. They can put that bow away, switch into a dagger or sword, and start attacking you within melee range. So the fact that these monsters are going to start thinking what's the best way to attack adventurers? What's the best way for me to survive as a goblin? And they're going to slowly adapt over time and adjust their fighting styles, adjust their aggro preferences based off of that. That is really cool because in any other MMORPG, every single monster has the exact same thought process. They either just stand there and let you whack on it, or they attack you until you run a certain distance and then they stop following you or whatever. But these guys are actually going to think, should I attack this guy or not? Should I attack this guy or this guy? And which weapon should I be attacking with? Which attacks, which skills should I be using? Which ones are more effective in the past? Stuff like that. So just the fact that they can adapt over time and it's not going to be the same combat experience day after day after day after day like you see in every other MMORPG. That's really cool. And that's one way to keep PvE interactive and not get stale because it is going to be adjusting over time and be slightly more dynamic that way. So yeah, I had to skip a couple other videos I wanted to make because I was so excited about this one and wanted to talk about that. But do subscribe because I am going to be posting a video on how you can rent out exemplars in this upcoming playtest. Even if it hasn't been implemented in game yet, there's still a way to do it, and I'll show you that. And then the biggest buff that your character can get in game ever. And I'll be making a video and posting that very soon as well. So do make sure to subscribe to my channel. And then again, if you just want a Discord community to talk to people, be playing in this upcoming playtest together with, click the link in the description below to the Discord. I'd love to have you there. I do post daily Mirandus tips every single day until this upcoming playtest. So you will have a lot of value for joining that as well. And then if you want to learn what else the Mirandus team is doing that's absolutely crazy, then check out this video where I talk about another feature that they're doing that's going to blow your mind. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well because it's going to make the game that much more immersive and that much cooler. So thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.